Hello families, my name is Brian Van Nest, and today I'm sharing this video to help you monitor your students as they use Microsoft Teams for digital learning. We're going to start here with the desktop application, and you can open up Microsoft Teams using the icon that's probably on your desktop, or you could also search for it down here. Either way, clicking on the desktop icon or here in the search bar, I'm going to open up Microsoft Teams. If you're in need of signing on, then you're going to use your student's S number, which is S and then their student ID. And then for their password, we're going to just use their birthday with 2 digits for the month, and then 2 digits for the day, and finally 4 digits for the year. Now that I've signed in, it's going to bring me back to wherever I was last, which was here in the Valley West team. But I can click up here to go back and see all the teams that my students are a part of. It's likely that your student is just part of a couple groups for their teachers. I'm going to walk you through these buttons on the left-hand side. This is where you're going to find what's going on with your student in their activity. First, literally, the button is called Activity, and it shows what work the student has done inside of various teams. You'll also see replies that are happening in conversations that your student is a part of. After that, we're going to see chats. Chats are more direct conversations between individual staff members and students, or between individual students. This is going to be important for you to click on various chats and see exactly what your student is saying. The things that your students say are going to be in the darker color. Here it's a shaded blue. And then the things that other people say are going to be in white. If something isn't red, that will show up, it hasn't been read yet, then it's going to show up in a bold. Next, you can click on Teams, and again, that's going to take me back to the teams that my student is a part of. I can click All Teams to go back and navigate between them. Maybe I have the Math and Science group as one, and then the ELA and Social Studies as a separate one. Others have done all of the students shared between teachers in one team, and then of course we have some students who are self-contained. Under Assignments is where you're going to see for your students what is due, and you would be able to choose a class, and then once you get inside of that class, you'll be able to see what's currently due and what has been completed. So you can look there, assigned, and it has the due date right on it. That's really helpful for you to keep tabs on your students' schoolwork. The calendar is going to show team meetings where you and your student will log on and be able to meet with the teacher. Teachers send those out, and then you can click on one of those meetings and find the link to join the call. Calls is a place where a student can reach out to another faculty member or another student, and so we also really want to look here to see under call history what calls have been made. So again, you're going down to calls and then history, and you can see what calls your student has made, both incoming and outgoing. And finally, files will be any things that have been shared with the student or the student has uploaded. That's a look at the Teams interface. You want to go just straight down this left-hand column, and you want to be able to take a peek at those things. Many times, chat and activity will have the most important information about what your student has been up to. All right, I'm going to take a moment now to show you how Microsoft Teams appears on a phone. And this would be similar whether it's an iOS device like I'm holding now or an Android device. Once you open the application, they operate very similarly. So I'm going to go ahead and open that Teams. And your student's going to sign in using their S number and their birthday as a password. The S number will be S and then their student ID. And their birthday password will be 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year. And once your student logs in, or you log in on behalf of your student, you can go through and see what your student has been up to in Microsoft Teams. So first there's the idea of the team itself. That's going to fall under Activity. It'll tell you what your student has done and where your student's been mentioned in various teams that they're a part of. Then beyond that, after you can look through that activity, and you might click on these different pieces of the feed, and it'll show you where your student's been mentioned or a new announcement's been made that you might want to be aware of. Next, you can go to chat. This is an important place to go because these are conversations between your student and the teacher, or your student and other students, that are occurring outside of a specific team. You'll want to go through each of these chats to see the types of conversations your student's having and be able to follow up with them about that. Chat is a powerful function for connecting people, but it can also be one where students get into a little bit of mischief if they don't know that a parent is watching. More specifically, under chat, we cannot, as a school, always see every chat that a student does if it's a private chat between two students and doesn't include a staff member. So that's even more important, why we want you as the parents to log in and be able to look at what your student is writing. Under Teams, you'll be able to see all the various teams that your student is a part of and notifications for that. I have quite a few on my phone, but your student should most likely have only a couple teams that they're joining. Under Assignments, you can click there and you will be able to see assignments for various classes. I'm clicking here on Ms. Perez's class, and you can see what's past due, what's due today, and then what's upcoming. And your student should be able to see that under Assignments as well. The calendar feature is going to show what meetings are upcoming and occurring, and it's also going to give you a join button right there beside it for you to join those meetings. As a parent, the very important thing that we need you to help with is looking under activities to make sure that the activity is looking reasonable. Normally, our staff can see that activity as well, and so you're just kind of glancing over, making sure everything looks good, and following up, helping support your student if something is mentioned that they need to do. Chat is even more important, where you can see what your conversations look like between your student and other students. Again, sometimes we can't see these conversations, and so your help there is really very important. And then again, Teams is where the various activities occur. Assignments are what's either past due, due today, or due in the future. And then calendar will show upcoming class meetings for your students. Just as we work to keep our kids safe and physically healthy, it's important for us to understand the digital tools that our students are using for learning so that we can keep our kids protected online as well. Thanks for all your support.